Here is my audience, and here we go. All right, when many people think of Cambodia, they think of what you see here in this slide, Angkor Wat. However, Cambodia has so much more to offer than that. Hi, my name is Alana Weiss, and today I will be taking you on a tour through Cambodia. We'll be discussing mostly geography and culture, history, as well as cities and travel destinations. So let's get started. We're going to take a tour of the geography first. Cambodia is part of Southeast Asia. It's bordered by Thailand, Vietnam, Laos, and the Gulf of Thailand. Just to give you a comparison, it's roughly the size of Oklahoma. It's 10 to 15 degrees north of the equator, so the climate is pretty tropical and rainy. And yearly temperatures average about 70 to 95 degrees, which is nice because you never have to think about taking a sweater. The rainy season is May through November, and the dry season is December through April, which is when the tourism there is high. The terrain is pretty low and flat, but there are a few mountains dispersed throughout the country, and there are paddies everywhere used for wet rice cultivation, as well as some forests surrounding the Mekong River and Tonle Sap, which is Asia's largest freshwater lake. So now we'll get to know the culture a little bit better. Cambodia is roughly a population of 16 million people, with 20% living in urban settings. The Cambodians refer to themselves as Khmer, which dates back to the Khmer Empire, which we'll talk about in a second. And it's a Buddhist society, much like the rest of Southeast Asia. 97% of Cambodia is Buddhist. The currency that they use is called the rial. However, the conversion rate is so low that they primarily use the US dollar. The life expectancy is one of the lowest on earth. It's 68 and a half years, but they get to enjoy some really delicious food in the meantime, including amak, which is a curry dish steamed in banana leaves. It's really delicious and is served with rice, beef, pork, meat, what have you. So now let's delve into Cambodia's eventful history. The Khmer Empire, as I mentioned before, was started in the 9th century by King Jay II. He made Cambodia primarily an agricultural society, and this empire was at its height between the 10th and 13th century. It's characterized by the stone temples, such as Angkor Wat. Now, fast forward a few centuries, Thailand and Vietnam were fighting for Cambodia's territory and land. So the French came in 1860s and took over protection for Cambodia. And finally, in 1853, Cambodia gained their independence. Unfortunately, that short-lived happy period of history wasn't going to last long. In 1975, the Khmer Rouge, which is a communist group led by Pol Pot, who opposed the Khmer Republic, captured Phnom Penh, the capital, and forced the people out of the cities and out of the towns back to the land. They believed that Cambodia should be an agricultural society and nothing else. They were infamous for the genocide that occurred, killing knowingly 1.5 million people, but some people believe it was upwards of 3 million people. In some people they killed for minuscule reasons, such as being lazy, complaining, disagreeing. Others they killed for being intellectuals, knowing a foreign language, or even wearing glasses. This ended in 1991 after years of guerrilla war, but luckily the Paris Peace Accords, which ended it all, established the democratic government in Cambodia and led to the coalition government that they have today, which is basically multiple political parties controlling the government. So now that you know the history and the culture, let's dive into the 3 most populated cities. The first one is Siem Reap, located in the northwest region of the country. Top destination globally because of Angkor Wat. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Angkor temples are supposed to represent Mount Meru, which is basically the Hindu version of Mount Olympus. The most recognizable one is Angkor Wat, which is a national symbol and on their flag. and it is characterized by the moat and the bas-reliefs that surround it. Other familiar ones or popular ones are Bayon Temple, which was erected for King Jay VII, basically to boost his ego. Bantashrai, which was built for the Hindu god Shiva and has a pinkish hue and is known for some of the best carvings on earth. And then, of course, there's Tafram, which is today known as the Tomb Raider Temple because it was characterized in that movie. It's easily recognizable by the trees that engulf, the tree roots that engulf and overtake the temple itself. It's pretty stunning and awesome to see in person. So other sites to see in Siem Reap include the Angkor National Museum, which delves into the Khmer civilization, and the displays are themed by era, religion, and royalty. And something else to see is the Angkor Night Market. Night markets are very popular in Southeast Asia, and Siem Reap is no exception. Here at this night market, you can get food, see street performers, buy trinkets and souvenirs, or even get a fish pedicure. There's kind of a little bit for everybody there at the night market. The next stop on our tour is the capital, Phnom Penh. Phnom Penh is located in the central south of the country. As I mentioned earlier, it's where the Khmer Rouge basically captured and overtook, and a lot of their executions took place here. So some of the must-sees in Phnom Penh include the Genocide Museum, which used to be a high school that was converted into the largest detention center and torture chamber in Cambodia during the Khmer Rouge era. And this place was known as S21. There were 14,000 victims here and only 7 survivors. Another stop on the tour is the killing fields, which are where the S21 would take the victims in the masses to execute them at night. This is about 7.5 kilometers outside of the city and is truly a must-see. It's quite effective in the sense that it's, you walk along the tour and you see bone fragments and shallow graves and tattered clothing. And at the end of the tour, there's the Memorial Stupa, which is this large glass tower holding 8,000 skulls divided by sex, age, and the way that they were executed. Something else to see in Phnom Penh that's not so somber is the Royal Palace, which is once where the king lived and close to the waterfront, as well as the capital of Cambodia, the embassies, and other government buildings to tour. So after that busy tour through Cambodia, it's nice to end on something more relaxing. My favorite place I visited was Sihanoukville, which is in the southwest region of Cambodia and well known for its clear water beaches and island hopping nearby. It's a great rest stop for backpackers as it's very cheap and just kind of that laid back atmosphere. Two of the well-known islands around it is Koh Rang and Koh Rang Salam. I visited Koh Rang, where I stayed on this private beach on the north tip of the island. There was no running water, no electricity, no Wi-Fi, nothing. And it's just a great place to unwind and get away from it all. It's only accessible by boat, but you can snorkel at the nearby reef, walk along the beach, lay in a hammock all day enjoying the sun, or at night you could walk in the water with the glowing algae and it looks like small sparks coming off of your legs. It's pretty cool. So, as you can tell, I really, really, really love Cambodia. It's one of my favorite countries that I've visited. It's got more than just the Angkor Wat. It's huge historical draws, busy nightlife, bustling cities, and serene beaches. It's a cheap place to visit for backpackers. I lived on $30 a day, but you can live more extravagantly in hotels, and it's still cheaper than it would be here in the United States. So it's a place for everyone to visit, no matter what your budget is. So please add it to your bucket list. It's a must. Thank you so much for watching my video, and as they say in Cambodia, A Kun.